Good morning, everybody. BDF 44 coming at you with another video. So just wanted to get out of the hotel room today, man, after having a nice long conversation with you guys about what I did. I just felt like, let me shave my head, get my face right, feeling good, and then get out the house. It's not hot at all. In fact, it looks like it's gonna rain. It's definitely gonna rain. I did not bring my umbrella, but I did bring a sweater. I'm probably gonna regret not having that umbrella now that I'm looking at these clouds. They look pretty serious. They really. I'm rolling with the spirit, man. I don't care. Hopefully I get back here before it starts raining. If not, I'll be walking with my sweater soaked and regretting it. But I ain't turned around to get the umbrella. I'll be all right. But yeah, man, just wanted to get out. Been praying a lot since I got off of that camera with you guys. I want the Lord to kind of guide me in the direction to make my my time useful, if not in the real world ways like I'm supposed to, but in the ways that He would want, which sometimes can be a bit unorthodox in my walk of life, as you guys know. But I just don't want to relive some of the same days I've already had, reliving some of this crap that I've already lived through. Of course, you guys know I reapplied for GR. I have yet to check to see if they've denied or approved me. Just ain't got around to it. I'll probably do it while I'm out here, actually. But talk to my boy T, trying to see if I can meet up with him. I'll probably meet up with him tomorrow and try to get the package that I'm supposed to be receiving from him. It's likely my cell phone. And what else? I'm also kind of waiting for the other package that's coming from the lawyer, the SSI lawyer. Kind of want to get all that in one fair swoop, I guess is how you say that. Is that how you say that? Get all of that at once. So if it, hopefully that arrives today, since he said he was going to bring it this week, send it this week. If it arrives today, then I can get both of those things from T at the same time rather than making two different trips to pick up all of that. So that's what I'm hopeful will work out. But yeah, man, just minding my business, doing my own thing, trying to see if I can enjoy my day. They moved some people in across the way from me, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but I like to have ventilation, so I leave my room open, my window open for that ventilation at all times. No matter what room I'm in, that ventilation is gonna be there. And sure enough, they also do the same thing, and they're kind of loud and they're kind of strange. So it's one of those situations where it's like you look up at 3 a.m. and they're still up. Doing whatever they're doing. I remember one time I looked over at them and they peeked behind the window looking at me. I'm like, what the and with all the stuff I've been talking about, I don't know what's, what I mean? I'm paranoid to a degree. It's like, man, I don't know who's looking at me and paying attention to me for all the stuff that I've been talking about on IG, that they're gonna try to get, I mean? I don't know. I know the people I'm talking about are baby killers, so who knows what type of stuff they try to do to get close to people who would otherwise talk against them. I don't particularly think anything's above somebody who would do something like that, or below them rather in that way. But at this point, I just think that those are some very strange individuals across the way from me. But I'm not going to close my window because ventilation means that much to me, and I'm particularly different in that way too. So I'm not moved at all. But it's one of those things where they kept me up last night, man. They really did. And the night before they didn't, but last night they did. It's kind of hard to rest when you got people on the other side of you, directly away from you, like this far from my window, maybe a little further out than where I'm holding my arm, and they leave their window open too. He's like, oh, okay, got it. But it's strange because the dream that I had that I mentioned I was having some strange dreams last night, and one of the dreams I had was that I went over there to where they were, because essentially what they had done was sent me a bunch of females to my house. In my dream, they had sent some girls to my house. It's like a peace offering or something. They sent like 3 women, very pretty girls, and I went over there to ask them a question that one of the girls had asked me, which was, do you plan on marketing this? I'm like, what are you talking about in my marketing? What am I marketing? It's content? So I went over there to them and asked them, how best to market, how to best to answer that question. Made no sense at all. But essentially what they said, I sat down in their room, and a lady kind of like tossed some candy at me. I don't know if it was like some type of, I want to say like Sour Powers or something. She tossed it at me, and as I asked the man that question, he said to me, if you want my advice, try to fly low. And then I woke up. But what was distinctive about him is it wasn't whoever that is. It was some man that looked like he was Arabic. That's what made it stand out. It was like an Arabic person was telling me, if you want my advice, fly low. And I'm like, all right. And I woke up immediately out of that dream. And so I'm like, my understanding, when you fly low, that speaks to staying off the radar. But it also can speak to not having too far to fall. But more so, my understanding is that flying under the radar. And so for me, it's like, I don't know how to do that any more than I already do, because I don't hashtag anything on YouTube. So if anybody's flying low, it's me. All the different conversations we have on this channel, masses have only gotten rid of one of my, not the masses, the powers that be have only deleted one of my videos, and that was because I was talking about the jab. Everything else we talk about, which I think could be rather detrimental to some stuff, if not a lot of stuff that they want to protect, they don't even know it's there. And I'm sure they'll know it now when they watch this video, but that's not the point. It's like, it's a lot of content that they have to go through to find stuff that maybe they want to get rid of. And so by my standards, I am flying below the radar, but not on Instagram, not at all. As I'm going on platforms, 5 million people, and I'm saying stuff that everybody else apparently agrees with in regards to this very, very specific topic, for which I have not been afraid to speak, where I know a lot of people are, especially our most famous celebrities. They ain't saying a damn thing about this stuff. And I'm going on platforms using my voice like I wish they would use theirs to condemn people who are doing this stuff, man. And hold our government accountable for it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to do that. And if my dream was telling me not to do that, I don't know how to. So I asked the Lord, I was praying about that today. I'm like, look, if you want me to fly below the radar, you want me to preserve myself in some way, show me how to do that while doing right. Show me what way you would be appreciative of, Lord. Because there was a time a couple weeks ago when I first found out about all of this, that the Lord was telling me not to speak for a time. When I was praying and meditating about it, he said, not yet, we ain't talk about it yet. And then, when it was time to talk about it, I was able to say everything I wanted to say in a much more distinctive and thought out way. So I felt like the Lord has been guiding me on all these topics, this specific topic, on all these different conversations. So I don't think I'm not flying below the radar, but I don't want to start flying above the radar, at this point. So whatever the Lord wants to do with me, man, I tell you, I don't really have a craving for attention. Not really. I don't perceive myself as an attention seeker. If anything, I just like the ability to vent my mind, and I have the ability to communicate very well, so I just do. It's what gives me peace, I guess. But that I don't have a lot of numbers or a big following that's not an accident. That's on purpose. There are ways to build the platform, and I just have not engaged in those practices. And so for me, it's like, I think my very nature is to fly below the radar, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of what my nature is. All the different conversations we've had, my most watched video was something I said about Larry Bird. I said, if you go ahead and look at some of my most famous, or whatever they call it, the most looked and watched views, the most famous video I've made was put some respect on Larry Bird's name. I swear to God, I don't remember one word I said. I don't even think I thought that much of it when I made it. I was just listening to some people, if I'm not mistaken, listening to some people say some crazy stuff about Larry as if he wasn't a killer on the basketball court. And I'm a Laker fan. I ain't got no love for Larry Bird. Like, not as it pertains to his professionalism and what he did killing us. Hell no. But it was because I had respect for that that I just thought whatever it was egregious. I haven't watched that video, but it got the most views and likes and comments. Who knows what those views, likes, and comments are? I've never looked at them. But shout out to everybody who did check out that video. But like, that's not what my channel's about. I'm a Laker fan. And I do therapy sessions. So it's like, the stuff that I want to get that type of attention, probably got like 0 likes or 0 watches. Like, I don't even think about today's numbers. I really don't care for that. And I've told you guys that a couple times. I don't care about that. Why? Because what I'm leaving here is for all time. Half of the people who are going to watch what I make, I want to have not even been born yet right now, man. I don't, like, most of the stuff that I'm doing is for tomorrow. I do it for me today, but it's left here for you tomorrow. So it's not, I don't care about today's likes. I think everybody's caught up in today's likes because that's what they're taught to do. And just like everything else everybody's taught to do, it could be unlearned for reasons that make a lot more sense than what we engage in right now. So for me, it's like, I don't care for that. I really don't. I just want to do what I do and let the Most High take care of the particulars in regards to who cares for it and who doesn't. I don't think too much about that. And so as I live my life this way, and I get a dream come in my head more or less last night telling me if I want his advice, for which I did not ask for in that regard, or fly below the radar, I'm wondering what the hell that's about. And if that means for me not to speak on things like this, but people are doing things that I can't get with on a very, very egregious level, then friend, I don't know how to do that. It's what I would tell that inner voice, my inner Arabic friend in my head, or whoever tapped into my frequency, or however the hell that worked. I don't assume to know how things work, but I'd imagine in 2023, there are a lot of different things technologically and spiritually that can be done that the average person doesn't know. Tapping into somebody's dreams is probably one of them. Probably one of them. Not saying that I know that to be the case, or that I think I sound sane when I say that. I just feel like we're in a space where there's a lot of stuff that can be done that we probably don't know can be done. Especially for those of us who pray a lot. So what I say to somebody who's tapping into me, if that's a foreign thought or if that's just something in my own head, I don't know how to do that. I honestly don't know how to do that. I just want to let whoever's watching know that I don't know how to fly any more under the radar than I do. And when it comes to speaking against stuff that I don't agree with, when it comes to stuff like this, there's no way I'm going to be silent. I don't know how to be. I'm wired this way. And I'm glad I am. But, today's just one of them days I can feel the sun coming out, so that's a good thing. As I told you guys once before, in my experience in life, if you see rain clouds, but it's like 11:30 in the morning and it ain't raining yet, it could be some sun coming through, bleeding through those rain clouds that'll delay that rain that you think is coming. And this is one of the situations where it feels like that might be the case again. But, them clouds are strong. They definitely gonna come down. There's gonna be some rain. And I still wanted to get some air, I didn't care. But I'm glad I was talking about what we were talking about in regards to this 2 weeks ago, man. We were talking about the baby killing nonsense 3 weeks ago, walking on the same street. And I encourage everybody to go check out some of the therapy sessions that I made walking on this street, because at the end of the day, a lot of what it is that I was talking about, it seems more relevant today to more people who are aware of what it is that we're talking about. It's more relevant. They didn't slow down what they were doing in regards to killing these babies. They ramped it up. And yesterday was the most deadly day, and this morning, a couple hours ago, I heard they're bombing in the daytime now, not just at night. They're letting people feel their wrath by way of different types of bombs. And that's another thing. There's different types of bombs they're using. They're getting their bombs from different places. I know that much. Some of the bombs suck the air out of you before they even hit the ground, from what I understand, which is why you see a lot of these children with their mouths open. Some of them are sins to beyond understanding, which is a different type of weapon from what I understand. Listening to the experts talk about some of the weapons they're using different bombs. Like they testing bombs. And I'm starting to believe that now some people are testing their bombs on them because they know they can. And they could just say it's Israel. I think they've probably been getting hit by different people. People that don't even hate them but just want to test the bombs out. Yo, this is a great time to use it. Just blame it on them. They bombing everything over there anyway. Let's see if this works. They're doing it. I think that's what's happening. I don't have any proof of that. Obviously not. But my theory is that now you got opportunists dropping bombs on them just because. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Because you got some evil people in this world that just want to see what their bombs can do, man. So this is the perfect time to do that. So I think that's kind of what they're running into. The baby killers only want to bomb at night. But now they're getting hit in the daytime. I wonder if it's the same people. I wonder if it's not some third party in there just shooting a bomb over there just because they can. I think we're there. I think we're at that place right now, honestly. So, yeah, you heard that here. I believe that, man. It's just a lot of opportunists, a lot of weirdos out there, a lot of chaos creators. A lot of people want to pretend they're on this side, they're really on that side, that type of thing. So they would do something like that. Make it look like it's more than it actually is, or just try out their own damn thing just because they want to do it. I just got to pray for the people of Gaza, man, because they don't have a lot of friends. If they had as many friends as they deserve to have for what they're going through, you would hear more people condemning it. So they obviously have people that hate them that ain't Israeli. And that is something that I want people to fathom as we talk. That ain't the only enemy they got. So yeah, man, it's just little stuff, man. Stuff that you meditate on. That's what I've been meditating on. It's like, yo, Israel, I'm not saying Israel being set up, but I am saying that Israel got more enemies as well who likely want them to look worse than they even are. We got a lot of that too. To increase the numbers, they only kill about 4,500, but they had 6,000 right now. You see that kind of thing? I think that's a real thing. I think that's a real thing, man. But whatever the case may be, man, I want it to stop, man. I want those people out of there. There should be some humanitarian efforts to get them up out of there. Some mercenaries coming by the boatloads to try to find ways of clearing out the paths for those people to get out of there. The fact that we ain't seen enough of that is a big problem to me. It's a big problem to me. And then you got people attacking Palestinian people all over the world, particularly in this country. I can't even say all over the world. In this country, you got people who reinforce. That's how you know it's evil. Because you got the crazies who are not going to attack people who are aggressive. They're not attacking the Israelis. They're attacking the people who are already being attacked. That's how you know it's spiritual. Pay attention to that too. Everything we're seeing is telling us not to trust the Western media. That the Palestinian people are being oppressed against. And every attack that is isolated in this country is against Palestinians that we're hearing about. As if they ain't being pushed around enough. That's how you know it's a spiritual thing. That's how you know. That's how you know who the good guys are versus the bad guys. Who are the evil crazies attacking? They're likely going to attack people who are furthermore already being attacked. It's to reinforce the evil that's already in play. Spiritual warfare, people. I keep telling you, that's what it is. It ain't deeper than that, never will be. So yeah, that's my thought, man. I just want people to understand what's been floating around in my head as I'm watching all of this. It would be very simple if it were just one aggressor and just one oppressed people. But the reality is, there's a lot of people out there who give a damn about what's going on with God. And because of it, they will do any and everything they can to get in on the action just to see chaos happen. Just to be able to say that they too had some hand in the evil of it all. And people who want to protect those people got to know that that type of thing is possible, if not happening for certain. not happening for certain, man. So, prayers out for everybody to Palestine, all of the people all over the world who are Arab, and all of the people all over the world who are being oppressed in ways that we aren't talking about, being treated this way for long periods of time, and we don't have our devices on them situations or have our hearts and minds praying for them. Better know it, you should be. This whole continent of Africa is being treated like this. Half the damn country is being treated like that. Y'all better know it. Because they're telling us what to care about, and while I'm happy to care about what I'm being told to care about, I also know that you put all eyes on this. That means we're not having our eyes over there, and they're probably doing God knows what to over there. It's just how this works. We need to start caring about stuff that they don't tell us to even pay attention to. First of all, we learn not to trust they at this point at all. To be completely honest with you. They lost all credibility this week, which we talked about in the last video. All these modern idiots who want to give us our news, act like they are providing a service to the people when really they want to mold our minds in whatever way they want to mold them, have us believe in whatever the hell they want us to believe, or fathom the options that only they put in front of us type thing. We gotta watch out for all of that now, man. The credibility is shot, so we need to start questioning more. I think that's where I'm at with them. If you're not able to think for yourself, you're in a lot of trouble in 2023. That's for sure. So yeah, man, it's walking, man. I don't even know where I'm going as usual. It's how my brain works. Just get out the house, create content. Leave that content for myself, others, so that we can look back on whatever my thoughts were and make some sense of them if it's possible to do so. And, honest to God, man, if I had any choice, I would just end all that suffering myself, man. God knows that. I've told him that already at least once. If I can be a solution to some of this in any way with my voice or with my image or whatever it is I got, I would be happy to do that, man. People are suffering a lot for reasons that don't make any sense, and I don't understand it any more than I always have in any other situation. And so that's why I say to God, man, if there's a way I can help, put me in a position to do so. If not, hear my prayers for others to be able to, because something needs to change about the stuff we're seeing. So that's what I want to say, Lord, talking to y'all, but talking to him at the same time. That's really what it comes down to, man. But I don't know, man. It's just another day in the life. As far as myself, I feel all right, man. I'm just happy I'm out of the house. Happy I'm out of that hotel room. Sick of being in there. For this particular day with the thoughts I had rolling around in my damn head, I don't want to be in there. Some days you just got to get out, even if you don't have a destination. You just make sure that you are out smelling air and getting exercise, and hopefully you get some ideas that help you be a better you by the time you get back into that room. That's kind of what it's about for me right now. I've been telling the Lord, I'm sick of having these weeks where nothing is happening in my life as far as fixing the situation I got, only for me to have these horrible anxieties and rush around in the last minute and feeling all kinds of scared and sad and having to go to hostels and hotels and stuff. Like, I'm really in a space where I would like to change that, and I'm always ended up either waiting on something that ain't coming, or some variation of that. Now we're in a space where because I spoke to the Lord, he's reinforcing the idea that I shouldn't be working if I want to get my SSI, for which I definitely am going to need in the long run. The Lord knows how these jobs go for me. I'm going to need something on record saying that I can't work. Essentially, if I'm to believe what he said, I bet not work. The moment I get a job, I throw my whole chance away of being able to get that SSI. How does that work? Like, that's the evil in the circumstance. That's what this country do to you. They make you wait 5 months for an answer on whether or not you can work or not. But if you do go to work, now you can't get that answer that you need to get the help that you need, because technically now you can work. Now, it don't matter that you go to that job and get fired, in theory, unless you do something spaz all the way out when you get there. But if you have a type of problem like I got, but you would be able to muster up the courage to work till it's time for you to get that you went to work is enough to keep you from actually getting it. It's just a little evil shit like that just makes you understand what it is that people like myself are up against when you have anxiety disorders and depression disorders and stuff like that. They don't care. They're not interested in whether or not you are well enough to do the job. They just want to make sure that your body is moving in the direction of capitalism. They could care less what's going on in your head. They could care less what you're capable of. They could care less if you're able to bring yourself to do it or not. They could care less who's going to pay for you and what. They want you to be on the street for a year or 2 years to be even qualified for homeless stuff. Clearly, whoever made that up has never been on the street. It's just a lot of people who don't respect circumstances in control of these circumstances. A lot of people who could care less or would like people to suffer in control of whether or not they do. And that's why I'm so happy to see the credibility of a lot of what keeps us suppressed mentally being deteriorated in my lifetime. That part makes me happy. The part that I don't like is how we get here. Don't like that we get here, but definitely appreciate that we're here. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. With CBS's, ABC's, all the different media sites, they really help along with the fear. Hey, you need to be afraid of this. You need to be afraid of that. You need to not talk to them because they're like this and this is who they are, and we're going to label them this. And in the presence of that, we're going to make sure that this is what it is. It's all nonsense, man. We knew it was bad when they would tell you two different things about the same type of situation, two different things depending on who it is. Black man committed murder. White person unalived such and such, but they were a good guy until they got to that point where they just simply snapped. And now, like, we should have known then when we started seeing applications of that bullcrap that this was in place, that they should not have been trusted at all, regardless of what party you side with, or just the group thinking, go along, get along. Okay, now everybody's upset about how black people are treated, so let's slap Black Lives Matter on every damn thing. Okay, I'm supportive of that because I'm black and I'm happy about it because people finally give a crap about me that didn't give a crap about me, except for the fact that they don't, they just capitalizing on it. So now I gotta be defensive against anybody who's against that, even though I clearly see that is exactly what that is, because now when you talk about that, you also talk about me, and so it just becomes a situation where even though you see the bull crap, you can't actually do anything about it. It's just like, they're pinning people against one another, pinning people against themselves. They pin you against your own damn ego. I'm like, what? And then when something like this happens, it's like, no. Why? Because the ones who pay our bills are doing or behind us. So you don't see that. You don't see that. That's what they do. I was watching a clip of a lady who had gotten on, I think it was BBC. She was talking to one of these analysts, one of the news people. And the news lady was essentially saying, you must acknowledge that the only reason why we're here, she's talking to a Palestinian lady, an activist of 40 plus years who's been dealing with this type of stuff the whole time. You must acknowledge that the only reason why we're here is because the hostages were taken. Are you saying that Israeli individuals are a necessary target? Like, hell no, I'm not saying that. Why would you even imply I'm saying that? And the lady proceeds to tell us something rational in regards to the point of view of her people not needing to be slaughtered and their children not needing to be slaughtered. And the lady said some gaslighting bullcrap about, yeah, that's cool, but are you saying that Israelites are the individuals, or Israeli people rather, are the individuals who should be targeted? It's like, that type of gaslighting, that overwhelming, exhausting bullcrap that they do. And it's like, I didn't recognize that because they used to do it to my people. In regards to us getting our freedom. We get on TV and they do that exact same thing to us. Yeah, but you understand that because you're in a position to protect yourself, you are endangering clearly individuals. Like, what do you mean individuals? We're not individuals? No. Well, yeah, you are, but for the sake of this conversation, you are not. You are terrorists. Like, wait a minute, how the hell I become a terrorist? I'm the one telling you they killing my babies, and I'm telling you I'm trying to protect myself. And then they proceed to destroy the credibility of what it is that you're using to protect yourself, and destroy the people who in place to protect you, if that's what the organization is to do. Black Panthers. There's still people to this day that think the Black Panthers are a terrorist organization. But nothing about that terrorism. There was nothing about that terrorism at all. At all. Now, if for some reason they ended up infiltrating with evil people into that organization to deteriorate it from the inside out, then yeah, they became terrorists. Anybody can put a snitch in there, have a snitch shoot an innocent person, and now you can say the organization represented by that snitch you put in there effectively is a terrorist organization because he committed a terrorist act. But it was never a real member in there doing that. They put him in there to do that. They do that type of stuff. And then they proceed to tell the world it's a terrorist organization. Like, this is the type of stuff they've been doing. They've been rigging the game against people for years, man. And history's told by the ones who tell the truth, or the history's told by the ones who win the game. But it's like, they rigged those games. They weren't winning anything. History's told by those in position to rig the game. That's like, man, let me be the first to tell you, I don't know nothing about that. I wasn't from that. My mother was. She was in the thick of San Francisco during the Black Panther Party movement. She was from San Francisco. That's where it originated. She knew a lot of the members, a whole lot of them. If I'm to trust my mother, which I do, it was never a terrorist organization. It was a reactionary defensive mechanism from an oppressed people that had bringing people together in mind and defending itself against the establishment that was meant to deteriorate it from the outside in. That is what Black Panther Party was. It's what you do when you are oppressed as hell for over 80 years. You defend yourself. I'd imagine it's exactly what Hamas is. Imagine. And everything that they do after that, if in the name of defending themselves, maybe they have an extreme person in there, or maybe they threw a snitch in there to destroy it from the inside out. Whatever happens then, they can label it whatever the hell it is. They won't tell you the origin of it. They won't tell you what happened to the people that make them feel like that's the way to go. They won't tell you any of that. They'll just tell you after the fact, after they've thrown their snitches in there and they're infiltrating inside out from destroyers in there, what it's really about. That's all that is. It's the same old stuff they've been doing to people. They do it to the Palestinian people, and black people can see it if they're paying close enough attention, because it's the same thing they do to us. It's the same stuff. I tell y'all, evil is not a creative, fam. It's not. It takes something that worked before and try it again over and over again. That's all evil's gonna ever do. And it's not a creative. Evil is not creative. Not establishment evil. It's not. It's going to figure out what it keeps out allowing itself to be successful in doing and use it again. It's going to figure out one thing and it's going to do it over and over and over again. So how they treat people, the gaslighting, oh yeah, that's the same shit we've seen, man. It's the same exact stuff they did to us. That's why I get so frustrated when I see black folks not paying attention to the situation, because it's like, yo, you can clearly see who's doing this and how they're doing it by what they're doing and to whom they're doing it to. It's the same energy. It's the same old supremacy. Man, tribal nonsense, man. Go along, get along. And by way of our sins, they can grab us, individuals who are not weakened and who are not strong in nature, use the temptation that they place in front of them or temptation that they happen to find themselves in, and compromise them, aka the snitches I'm telling you about. That's how they get us. Throw some bullcrap in front of us, we stumble over it. Ah, we saw you. Now we got you in our back pocket. Now go in there and destroy that thing. Okay, we're gonna go in there and destroy it, and then what? As I've already said, and they can label us whatever it is based on that. They don't never want us, brown, black people, whatever the heck it is that ain't white, they don't ever want us to really have anything, man. Because we are the competition that will destroy, and the logic and the good in the world that will destroy what it is they have established. We are the creatives that will find ways of bleeding through their nonsense so they can't do it. Take the people that otherwise are not able to corrupt and show them the truth. It's exactly what we are, man. They don't want us to have nothing because they know we are their biggest threat. And look, if you believe in a God, you know that the sun has a lot to do with how the world goes, right? The sun itself, the actual sun. He gave his people the ability to survive in said sun. Period. There are going to be many people who don't want to hear that. I don't care, because we're in a space where that needs to be said. He gave his people the ability to stand in said sun. You can survive out in the sun. You can survive all the sun's going to throw at you. You can survive. With that comes a responsibility, just like where much is given, much is expected from, right? We have a responsibility to be better than what it is that otherwise those who don't want us to be better who want us to be. We don't have the right to oppress others. We don't have the right to turn a blind eye to certain circumstances that are evil in nature. We don't have a right to kill each other the way that we do. A lot of that we bring forth upon ourselves with our own choices. It's a fact. But at the end of the day, I don't care who they say who is what. You can clearly see who's favored by way of what he's allowed them to survive. Period. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what's in no books. None of that. Who has the melanin, man? Who can survive the sun? That's it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Because at the end of the day, if you were the people of God, then why didn't he give you the ability to survive the sun? Why did he not? If he chose you, then where's your melanin at? Be mad at me if you have to be, but know that this is exactly how that works. It's not me that made the rules. He made the rules. It's not me that did this to you. He did this. I was just fearless enough to point it out and rip the Band-Aid completely off of it. Like many have before, and they've suppressed us from saying so. But that's what it is. So you want to say that's your land? You can't survive that land without problems upon your skin. Why is this? Why is this? But you said it said in the book this, that, and the third. Yeah, but you're not holding the responsibility of those he actually gave that moniker to, because we know we can't do what you do, or we'd be wiped away immediately. We wouldn't survive it. If we tried to do what they did, we wouldn't survive it. Why? Because it's our responsibility not to do those things. When much is given, much is expected. We've been given a lot. Whole lot. Including the truth without the truth given to us. It's in us. The connection to the Holy Spirit, the connection to God, the Creator, the melanin that represents our chosen nature, all of it. It's already there. We don't have to pretend to be that. We don't have to act like that's what it is. We don't, none of that. No. It is there already. We didn't choose it. That's the key to being that. It's the understanding that you didn't choose it. You can say it's a gift, but you didn't choose it. So those who are choosing to pretend that they are that, acting as if it's a choice, or as if something is not, I tell you right now, this is probably why you're able to suffer us your bullshit. It's because where much is given, much is also taken. It all makes sense when you really look at it. It all makes sense when you really put it all together. It makes all the sense in the world. It becomes a situation where, in order for us to get past the jealousy, past the frustration, past the supremacy, past all that, we got to start having these conversations without being worried about who's going to silence us or who's going to take our money away. Because money is indeed what keeps people from actually evolving properly, because these are the things that help us evolve past a lot of the evil that we engage in. But because of the presence of money, capitalism, and all that evil shit, which it is, puts a cap on our evolution. Puts an absolute cap on our evolution. Now we got to act like we don't know this is true, or teach our kids something different, because if we teach them this, then we're not going to have positions to get that, and then if we don't get that, then we're in poverty. Money's evil, man. Money's been evil. It's the root of all evil. It is the course. It is the crux of what evil is actually about. It's putting aside substance and incorporating a substanceless entity that is based on fear and greed. The very essence of it is evil. Fearful of being poor, greedy in the sense there's never enough. That's what it is. And something that will make you discard of your morals, discard of your time, discard of what aligns with you properly, discarding of things that you create organically. You have to discard of it in order to get it. I'm supposed to sell my art. I'm supposed to sell my image. I'm supposed to sell this. I'm supposed to look for the numbers. Make sure my numbers is right. If the numbers ain't right, then I got to up what I'm doing so that the numbers can be right. Because if the numbers ain't right, the money ain't coming in for those who invested in it. And it's nestled just in place for us to need it, whether it's evil or not. See the application of that in regards to what we were talking about earlier? They're nestled right in place so that people are going to be quiet because they're going to lose their money if they don't. Same application of thought. It's not a creative. It's going to apply the same thing over and over. See how that works? Evil is evil is evil is evil, no matter what way you look at it. I don't care what form it's in. It's always going to behave the same way. It's always going to act in the same fashion. It's the same thing all the time. It is not a creative. Just different applications of the same damn thing. Money. And so that's why I hate it. I need it just like everybody else needs it, but I'm also nestled on the outside of it to where every single week when I'm not looking for it, instead of doing things of substance, I'm still able to just get by. Just get by. Family's helping me with money, praise God for them. Money come out of the sky for no reason, it drops in somebody. There's always something that keeps me from having to do that, for which we must do. Must. That's what that evil do. It make you do it. And no, you don't get no choice. You have to defy every bit of your fear. You have to defy every bit of what it is that you want in life. You have to defy every bit of what it is that's in your time, space, what you would otherwise do with your time if you didn't have to chase it. You got to go to school so that you can put yourself in a position to have it, for which wastes more of your time, for which time you don't even know if you're going to be able to survive. People go to school, get the best grades, get hit by a car before they even get their first job. This is what it doesn't account for by way of it being a deliberate thing, on purpose is what I'm trying to say. It discards of that truth on purpose. You're going to be out here scrounging and cutting somebody down to get this money, even though you know damn well you were taught to share. You were taught to share. But by way of what you need money-wise, you're going to get involved with people that don't believe in sharing, only share with their group, only love their people, and don't love nobody else. Going to watch babies die, all kinds of stuff. Why? Money. Fearful of losing money, fearful of losing power that's attached to money, fearful. This is how these babies died. Y'all really want to know what killed them babies? That's what killed them. This all tumbled forward to the moment we're in right now. The people just sliding with evil and not living in a way that defies it. You will defy everything real to get money, but won't defy money to get real. How does that work? What type of confusion is that? You believe in the process of being lost, if not for the evil you need. But don't believe in the ability to let go of that evil and getting what you need. You believe in something, but you won't believe in good. You think that's an accident? It's exactly what evil wants of y'all. It's exactly what it wants of us. And while it gets to pretend that it's not what it is, pretend that it don't have the power that it does, when it really doesn't actually have any power. Because it's evil. And evil's on the losing side. But in the grand scheme of things, They don't want to act like it has any power. They want to act like it is the supreme, even though it don't want to be seen as the supreme, because if it has to be seen as the supreme, you see how the contradiction works? The confusion works? Evil is confusion. It confuses others and it's confused itself. Because if it simplified everything, it would realize being itself ain't nothing to be. That's how that works. That's why when you try to undo the layers of evil, you find confusion and contradictions. Why? Because it is nestled in a space for which it should not be. It's the point. It's harboring space it does not necessarily, what's the word? It's not supposed to be in those spaces. That's what I'm saying to you. It doesn't have the right. It shouldn't even exist. But because we continue to allow it to exist, we find ourselves in these spaces where the rubber meets the road. Now we have to face our hypocrisy. Now we gotta look in the mirror. Now we don't have the credibility, this, that, and the third, because we've been doing things the wrong way for so long and it's finally being unearthed. All of that was possible because of the confusion that you were dealing with in the first place by being this way. If you would have just put aside your fear, put aside your need for that evil, or the guise of believing that evil was necessary, you would understand that there would be a whole lot more to protect yourself from within that space. A whole lot more to gain from within that space. But human beings are too enriched in the evil that they do and too enriched in the agreements that evil is necessary that they don't realize it's not. All of it. The only thing that's necessary is to discipline yourself against it. That's the only thing that's ever necessary. But because we don't believe in one another, that's another thing. We're going, well, everybody evil, I'm gonna be evil. That type of shit keeps evil going. That's how it works. I don't believe in them. Even if I do my part, they ain't gonna do theirs. That's how it works. It starts with at home. How are you stopping what you do? How are you getting the evil out of your own heart? That's the prayer I wake up and saying, Lord, get the evil out of my own heart. Because it starts with you. You ain't worry about what the next man do or not doing. Just influence them by way of the example that you show. That's a belief that the evil that would otherwise be necessary isn't there. Isn't necessary. It won't even be present because you make sure it's not. And what everybody else is doing, that's their thing. Let the God you serve take care of that. You just be responsible for your own actions, your own responsibility, your own spirit. You be in regard to your own truth that you are not needing evil to get by. If it's a necessary evil, that is a lie. If somebody's telling you it's either or, you better keep looking for another way because there is one. And that you don't see one is on purpose. You're not supposed to see one. Not by way of the evil that's in control of whatever it is that everybody's agreeing to. Stop thinking it's necessary to be evil. Stop letting people who are evil define evil for you. Define evil as good. That is confusion, misdirection, the same type of stuff that we've been talking about. Compassion is the opposite of evil. Unselfishness. Compassion. That is what it is. If it don't align with that, definition is wild. Period. It ain't deeper than that. It's going to be a lot of people that tell you otherwise because it's in their best interest to, by way of their fears, what they agree to and their greed. That that's the case, but it ain't. It ain't. Ain't nothing they doing necessary. Ain't nothing they believe in righteous in that way. And all of that they're doing is going to fall apart eventually. Just wait on it. There will be that day. If it ain't aligned with compassion and unselfishness. See. Period. One thing about good is not complicated. Evil is complicated and confused. Good is not. Watch for the misdirection. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.